When you hit play on a YouTube video, you expect someone to start talking or doing something in the first 15 or 20 seconds to try and hold your attention, to try and convince you to watch more. Similarly, when you get started in business and set up your company, you want to accelerate through the basic finance, legal, administrative steps that you need to do to get started. And a key aspect of that is getting a business bank account set up. Because as we all know, without it, you can't do very much. You can't buy things for your business. You can't take money from customers. You can't pay suppliers, pay staff, or even pay yourself. And so you'd think that once you'd chosen which bank that you want to set up your account with, and knowing this, they would help you get set up as quickly and easily as possible. Unfortunately, that's not always the case, as you'll see from our experience with Lloyds Business Bank. Welcome back to the Basics of Business channel, everybody. And as part of our ongoing series looking at different banking options for your company, today we're going to look at how Lloyds stacks up based on our experience of using it. So after this video, please check out our overall video where we compare the 9 different business bank accounts we have access to across 6 different categories to see which one we consider to be the best. But today our immediate attention is focused on Lloyds. And you'll not be surprised, given the intro to this video, that we're going to look at initially the ease of opening. It is poor and quite simply not good enough in our opinion. The process itself took 35 to 40 minutes, which is quite long compared to others that we'd looked at. You can't do it through the app. You can only do it through the website. There were elements of the process as well which were a real faff, such as we had to write our own signatures and then scan it and upload it as part of the process. But all the directors had to accept the banking agreements, which is fine. However, one of our directors, she had to go through that process 4 separate times. She got an email saying she had to accept it. She followed it, accepted it. However, then when we logged back on to check in the status, it said it still wasn't accepted. And she had to go through it, as I say, 4 separate times. But while all those elements were frustrating enough, they weren't insurmountable. The biggest problem with opening an account with Lloyds was time. Admittedly, when we started the process, they did acknowledge that it could take up to 6 weeks. However, in ours, it took between 7 and 8 weeks to get set up. And even more annoyingly was, once we submitted our application, about a week after that, we got a phone call from one of their staff saying that they needed more information. Absolutely fine. Spent 20 minutes, 30 minutes on a call with them, giving them the extra information they need. I specifically asked that they had everything they needed to process the application. They said yes, and then I just left it, just deliberately to see what would happen. And then once the 6-week time barrier had hit, I called Lloyds. To then be told that the application hadn't been processed, they didn't have all the information they need, and not only that they had tried to contact me constantly during the intervening period to get the bit of information. I explained about the call that we'd had 5 weeks earlier and that I had not had any calls since then. We then basically agreed to disagree, which I couldn't quite believe that we were doing, in terms of whether they'd been trying to call me, or that call 5 weeks previously had taken place. And so not only that, I had to take another 20-30 minute phone call, at which point they then informed me that the 6-week clock would start again, which was just quite unbelievable. Thankfully, after that, it only took, I think it was just about 2 weeks, so 8 weeks in total to get this account set up. But 8 weeks to wait for a bank account is just ridiculous in our view, and basically stops you operating properly as a business. So the just a massive thumbs down when it comes to the account opening process, and to wait 8 weeks in our experience for a bank account is simply not good enough, as I say. So after all that, I suppose I should try and say something positive about the experience with Lloyds. From a fees point of view, to be fair, they have 12 months free banking for businesses, for small businesses, that's with turnover under £3 million for the first 12 months. And that's something that's a good offer. It's certainly something that's not available with other banks that we looked at. That doesn't apply, just to be clear, for larger businesses with turnovers over 3 million. I think there's a monthly fee of £15 a month, I think. And I'll throw up on the screen just to confirm that. Online services, the app is fine and works fine, although I mean it's all the sort of basic functions you need. The fact that you can't apply for the business bank out through the app probably gives you a flavour of where Lloyds sits with tech compared to other offerings in the market. Online, you have to still use the old-fashioned card reader with the card to log online, which again probably gives a flavour where they are. They're just not as advanced with the online services compared to some of the newer fintech and challenger banks. However, as I say, it is fine. It has the basic integrations there that you would want with your accounting packages, but as I say, it is okay from an online services point of view, and we'd probably just leave it at that. Is certainly behind from a tech platform perspective, and the navigation can be quite complex and takes you a few clicks to get through to things. However, it does do all the basic things that you would expect it to do. Briefly, if I can, if it's possible, it'd be great if you could hit like in this video if you're finding it helpful. Thanks very much for doing that. As I say, consistently say it's a big help to us in terms of verifying whether this content and the videos that we're putting out are helping and giving you clarity to your business. So thanks for doing that. We really do appreciate it. Moving on to mandates and being able to give people access, whoever you want, at whatever levels you want, to your business bank account, which Neil and I consistently feel and say is an important thing and something you should have total and easy control over. The way Lloyds does it, again, probably just another example of how they're a little bit behind when it comes to tech. You can control the payment levels for different users online, but when it comes to mandates and setting up and giving that access, you can do it, and it is a form that you can run through online, which creates the forms for you. However, you then have to print them off and go and get the signatures from the various directors, etc., and upload them and send it back to Lloyds. And I guarantee anyone who's got experience in terms of these forms and printing them off and getting them around to various directors, it can be a painful process. And as we know, one that in this era of tech can be made a lot easier, as a lot of the other challenger banks and fintechs do, taking real advantage of technology to make that, for us, a key feature as easy as possible. Again, trying to say something more positive about Lloyds. They are a big bank and an established bank, and with that comes obviously the Fscs Guarantee up to £85,000, which doesn't come with the money institutions in the UK, such as Revolut, Tide, Counting Up and Wise, etc. And obviously with that banking status and being an established bank, they can provide the credit facilities that you don't get everywhere else, whether that be loans, overdrafts, credit cards, asset financing, invoice factoring. They offer that full suite of credit facilities, which, as I say, isn't available with other institutions that are not banks. So that's certainly something that has to be acknowledged, and given Lloyds' long-standing status as an established bank, that's something that's obviously in their favour. As Neil and I consistently say, whether you get those facilities or not is a different matter, given how risk averse the banks seem to be these days, particularly when it comes to lending small businesses money. However, it is something that you can apply and get through them. So, as I say, which you can't necessarily get with everyone else. When it comes to Lloyds again, and being that traditional high street bank, it's fair to point out that they have a large branch network across England and Wales, which lets you physically go into a branch and talk to someone. They don't have branches in Scotland and Northern Ireland, and like all the other big banks, they are closing a lot of their branches throughout the country. However, that branch network does exist if you need it, and that's not the same case as it is with some of the newer challenger banks, some of which don't have any branches at all. This branch work itself lets you deposit cash. So if you're a cash heavy business, you can deposit that, which again, with other newer fintechs and challenger banks, you can't necessarily do. Some of them just won't accept cash at all. And Lloyds have 24/7 support again, which is something that is beyond and better than some of the other offerings that are out there. Overall, though, when it comes to Lloyd, it's just really hard to get past the account opening process. 7 to 8 weeks is just not good enough, in our opinion, and simply won't let your business function properly and easily from the outset. We even see now that when we set up the account in the summer, it gave us 6-week SLA. Looking at the website today, they now say that they'll open their account as soon as possible. So who knows how long that will actually mean in effect. So given the importance that Neil and I would attach to getting one of the key aspects ticked off when you start your business, the length of time for the account opening is just a massive red flag for us when it comes to Lloyds business banking. So that's it for this Lloyds business account review. As ever, I wish you every success with your business and your business journey. And if you like this video, once again, tap on one of those boxes and we'll see you over on another one.